What's up, world? Let me tell you about this beard growth oil I got from 12 tribes on Earth. 8 ounces of oily goodness with a nozzle that prevents sprays and spills, and soft ingredients that make it perfect addition to anyone's morning routine. From coconut to castor, all these oils are hand chosen. After using this herbal blend, the biggest thing I noticed is how soft and how strong my hair was, and how good I feel. Pick up your bottle today and make your beard the star of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, verdicts were given out today in the Tyre Nichols case, and 3 of the officers were found not guilty. And I know his family got to be very disappointed, y'all. They really wanted these officers, the 5 that were at the scene when he was being just brutalized and violated, and just to find out 3 of them are not guilty of any of the counts that were on them. Yeah, I just can imagine how his family feels. I mean, we saw that video and it was extremely violent. And they literally beat this man to death on video. So let's get into the story. And my heart goes out to his family. It really does, because they fought so hard to get this case heard and for this to be the outcome. And these folks were clearly on the video. Wow. I just can't imagine. A jury found 3 former Memphis, Tennessee police officers not guilty of all charges in the death of Nichols, including the most serious charge of second-degree murder. The men, Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith, faced a total of 7 counts in the state trial for their role in the 2023 fatal beating of Nichols, a 29-year-old father who had told officers he was on his way home when they stopped him. They hugged each other and their attorneys after the verdict was read. The Nichols family left the courtroom without speaking to the media after the verdict. They spoke briefly with Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy, who said they were devastated and outraged. "I think we can understand why they'd be outraged by this result, given the evidence," he said. A total of 5 former officers were initially fired and charged with both federal and state crimes related to Nichols' death. 2 pleaded guilty in federal court last year and testified against their former colleagues. Both Emmett Martin and Desmond Mills also intend to plead guilty to state offenses. This was the second time the 3 officers faced trial. Last fall, they were convicted in a separate federal case of witness tampering for misleading superiors about their actions. Bean and Smith were acquitted of violating Nichols' civil rights, but the jury found Haley guilty. The officers pulled Nichols over on January 7, 2023, for a traffic stop that spiraled into violence. Nichols ran on foot after being pepper sprayed and threatened with a stun gun. Graphic body camera footage and a police neighborhood surveillance camera captured officers then either restraining, kicking, punching, or striking him with a baton as they took him into custody. He eventually went into cardiac arrest at the scene, according to a responding paramedic and medical records. He died at a hospital 3 days later. An autopsy attributed his death to blunt force trauma to the head. Throughout the trial, the sequestered jury from the Chattanooga, Tennessee area watched video footage of the arrest multiple times from multiple angles. Prosecutors said the men on trial either used or witnessed excessive force and failed to stop it. Officers also didn't alert medical responders, the prosecution said, that Nichols had been struck in the head. Over about 2.5 days, prosecutors moved quickly, calling only 5 witnesses, including Mills, a medical examiner, and Nichols' mother, Rovon Wells. Delivering her closing arguments Monday, Assistant District Attorney Melanie Headley encouraged jurors to listen closely to the videos. She said that as Nichols struggles with his injuries before being cuffed, he moans for help. Who is supposed to help him? Those guys? They've got a duty to help him. And they don't, she said. No witness told you Tyre punched, Tyre kicked, Tyre spit. He didn't cuss. He didn't do any of those things. Headley also emphasized the law of criminal responsibility for the jurors, which they could use to convict the officers of second-degree murder using proof that a defendant's guilt is based on the conduct of another person. They're all out there, she said. They're all doing it together. Defense attorneys for the 3 former officers pushed back and said that although Nichols' death was a tragedy, he posed an unknown risk to officers because he fled the stop before he was searched. Each defendant called his own use of force experts, who testified that the individuals used their police training to escalate force against Nichols to handcuff him when they say he resisted. The defense also sought to blame Nichols' death on Martin, who is shown on video repeatedly kicking and punching Nichols in the head. Attorneys for Smith and Bean dispute whether they were unable to see or stop Martin's conduct due to the heavy use of pepper spray and the chaos of the arrest. First of all, they didn't see it, and second of all, they could not let go of this suspect, Martin Zumak, who represents Smith, said. This is crazy to evaluate this case on slow motion video in a 70-degree courtroom versus out there on a dark street. Haley arrived at the arrest scene last and kicked Nichols, which his attorney says was to the arm and necessary to help handcuff him. This case is a case that started with officers doing a legal investigation, having probable cause to stop a motorist, having probable cause to put him in handcuffs and search him, and then everything falling apart from there when Mr. Nichols would not cooperate, Stephen Leffler said. For the first time, the defense introduced evidence of items that investigators found in Nichols' car, including a small amount of a hallucinogenic drug. The defense also said there were credit and debit cards not in Nichols' name that the defense alleges were stolen. Wow, y'all gonna have to tell me what you think about this video. Do you agree with the verdict? Just think about the video that came out and how it was just horrific. Do you think these 3 were sentenced correctly, or do you think they should have been punished? Let me know in the comment section. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.